Do you ever have a moment in class where you feel like you are absolutely breaking down and you just don't know what to do? You feel defeated, you feel sad, you feel angry, you feel mad. This episode is for you. It's about how to take that one moment and grow from it. Hello, my beautiful, gorgeous dance baby, and welcome to another episode of More Than Dance. Today, we are talking about when you're having a moment in dance class, when you're breaking down, when you feel defeated, and what to do about it. If you're a dancer, it goes without saying that you've experienced this before. It's the moment where you're doing everything and you just feel like you're not getting it. Nothing feels good. Everything feels like a question mark. You can't remember this part, and because you keep forgetting that part, you're forgetting the next part after that, and then you get frustrated and you really want to just get it, but the only thing that's happening is you're getting more frustrated and the less you actually get in the choreo. So I thought it would be a great idea to talk about this today, because what is your strategy right now? How are you able to feel that? Because it's not like, okay, how do we not have this feeling at class ever? That's not possible. If you're a dancer, you know you're going to be challenged. You're going to have different choreographies, different songs, different rhythms, different musicality. You're going to have different costumes to manage. You're going to have different steps, different orientations of steps, different facings. There's so much that happens within a dance class. We already know that. This is about when it happens. How are you going to handle it? Are you going to use maybe your current strategy, which is to feel defeated and I always think of the turtle going back into its shell, or are you going to take it right on and attack it and figure it out and actually learn more about yourself while you're figuring it out? So let's paint the picture. Find yourself in that class that you recently just had where you were oh, maybe it's because the routine was faster than normal. Maybe it's because you were wearing something and your Ruby or Luby was slipping out. Ruby is the name of my right boobie and Luby is the name of my left boobie. Maybe it was because you were managing different things from your day earlier. Maybe something tragic happened in your world outside of dance and you're managing those feelings going into dance, and then you were met with a really difficult routine. So let's think about it. And once you have yours, it doesn't need to be the most recent one. It doesn't need to be the most extravagant one. It just needs to be one time. And I can think of mine. It was definitely frustrating. And what was so frustrating about it actually was my own body was frustrating me. My knee was frustrating me, and my inability to do the exact movement because of my knee, not because my physical abilities, could have been able to do it, but because of the way that my knee was bending, there was no way. It was frustration, but then it was even more frustration because simultaneously, I had another hip thing going on. There's this moment in one of the routines that I did in that year, Mambo number 5. I have the exact seconds of where my hip splat on the floor and it popped. Ooh, oh my gosh. And this is just so annoying. I mean, when we think about it, and sometimes it helps to go really into the details because then you can put yourself there. And sometimes it might not be helpful for you to go into the details like I'm doing right now. But I remember that moment and being so disappointed because Josh and I were going to LA and I was about to take a bunch of dance classes and I was oh, great, my knee hurts. And I know how to navigate that. I've been navigating my knee pain for all my adult life. But I had another injury from my hip splat and it was navigating that. And it was just oh man, the timing on that. So it was really annoying. And I remember being in a class and being sad. I think I was sad because there was part of me that was yeah, I was sad. No, I was mad. I was feeling feelings about it. And yet, I was still very grateful to be dancing. I was still very excited to be there. And I was really frustrated. And those two things can exist at the same time. And that's step number 1, is realizing that you can have more than one feeling at the same exact time. So while you're in a dance class and you're feeling the feels and you're feeling defeat and you're feeling discouraged and maybe you're making yourself sick, you can feel those feelings and still be yeah, and this is where I got to be. And this is how I'm going to learn. So step number 1, knowing that those two things exist. Step number 2, identifying what that feeling is. Is it frustration? Is it anger? Is it disappointment? Is it perfectionist qualities that are coming up? What is it? Step number 3 is finding your gratitude. So it's kind of flipping the switch and going into another realm and saying, okay, it's your higher self talking to your current self saying I see you're feeling defeated. I see you're feeling a certain type of way. And also, here's this. And it's this beautiful buffet table with a chocolate fountain and amazing things to share. And it's, you're here, you're in the class, you got a cute outfit for today, you're doing it. And yes, you may not be doing it the way you want to do it, you are still doing it. I talk to my students all the time. One, I love talking to my students. And two, I love talking to them because I like to know where the mind intricacies are. I love learning how they're thinking about their progress. And this is why we do circle time at the studio, which is where we share our highlight and our success, because it's important to me and my lesson plans to take what they're thinking and develop it into curriculum so that they're becoming better dancers and therefore they're becoming better humans. They're able to do a little bit more and they're able to handle more information, not just like information in terms of dance, but they're able to handle information in terms of what are those feelings that we feel that are like discouraging feelings and how do we handle them and how do we move through them. So I was talking to one of my students. She was telling me, I didn't do well in class today. And this is a common thing. Like my student will present to me an experience that they were having. And my experience of what their experience could have been is totally not what I thought it was. Like, so my head was saying, oh my God, look at her. She's killing it. Oh my God, look at that smile. Look at the move. Like, oh, she caught on so fast. Like, that's what I'm saying. And they're saying, I'm not getting the steps. I'm not getting them fast enough. I don't look good enough. I'm not able to take my eyes off of the teacher. I'm not able to move through the choreography and have it feel good. I'm still thinking the whole entire time. And I just like sent her back this message and it was like, hold on, we are going to reframe what doing well in class means. So this is step 4. So step 3, don't forget, it's finding the gratitude. It's like being in that moment, being so grateful for what you're able to do. And step 4 is reframing. So we are going to rewrite what doing well in class means. There are many ways to do well in dance class without getting the steps exactly correctly. Doing well in class can mean, in plain terms, just coming to class. I did well in class. Oh, what'd you do? Oh, I came to class. I did great. Doing well in class could be getting a social fix. Oh, I did so well in class today. Oh, wow, what'd you do? Oh, I talked to some friends. Amazing. Doing well in class could actually be getting physical connection. I'm a hugger, so if you ever come and you're a hugger too, like chances are we'll hug. Did you know that you're supposed to get 8 hugs a day minimum? So get on that. If you have a pet, you have an upper hand because I know that they give hugs all day. Every day. I want a dog. I did well in dance class today. Oh, really? What'd you do? Well, I moved and I was celebrating my body and all that it can do. Oh my God, amazing. You do well in dance class because you exercised, you moved, you filled up your own cup, you practiced self-care, you took time out of your day to do something out of the ordinary, or you took time out of your day to do something you committed to. Commitment gets points. Or you took time out of your day to do something that was in your schedule that you wanted to keep in your schedule. Again, yeah, that's commitment too. So we can do well in dance class, even if we are messing up the steps. One of the worst things that you can do in these moments is criticize yourself and judge yourself. And it can be actually the easiest thing to do because all you're seeing around you is the action of others. You're not seeing the intricate thoughts that people are having that are just like you. They're thinking, oh, wow, I didn't get that. Or, oh, wow, she's doing great. And they're talking about you. And it can be really confusing because dance is such an act. It's such a performance. So it actually seems as though everything's perfect. Everything's so great because our face is saying everything's great, isn't it? Even when we do something so incorrectly, we're doing it strong and wrong. And we're like, well, yeah, there it is. Whoop, there it is. And it's a false experience for someone who is in the habit of comparing. Because if you're in the habit of comparing, you're comparing external things. Unless you get an opportunity to interview everyone, which I don't think you're going to do. I mean, that would look like this. You came to class, you had your own experience, and then you stayed after class to interview everybody to be like, hey, during this part, like, how are you feeling? And guess what actually happens with that? We have circle time, so people are able to share those things. So that's why it's great if you can to just share. If your studio doesn't have a moment for that sharing time, to be able to be like, wow, that was really hard for me, because you might be helping someone else to see the internal and helping them to see like, oh my gosh, well, she was doing so good. And she thought it was hard. Oh my God, thank God. And it's some kind of alleviation, and it feels good to know that. And at the same time, I'm going to challenge you and say you're looking for that external validation, and it does feel good. And the more in our higher self we become, the less we're going to need that kind of a validation, because we'll be able to do it on our own. We'll be able to know our own strengths and weaknesses within the art of dance. And also it transfers to everything else that we're learning for the first time. So if we were to pick up another skill, we would know exactly how that beginner experience felt and how to talk to ourselves so that when it does happen again, we don't care if it feels hard for other people. It feels hard for us. And that's that. When you criticize yourself, you're getting into the mode of like going down the negative black hole. We don't want to do that, obviously. We don't want to go there, not only because it's negative, but it does more about your identity than it does about the thing that you're doing. So it's one thing to say like, okay, I kicked my leg and it didn't look pretty. It's another thing to say, I kicked my leg, it wasn't pretty, I suck. So it's almost like you took that information and then you made a conclusion about it. And that conclusion was that you're not good. So it's almost like that one hard class became this big, long story about why you're not good at dance versus that was just one hard class in the midst of this really hard thing that I'm doing, which is learning dance. And my next point is about regulation. So when you're in that moment, you can feel like those feelings, they're real, they're happening. Your body is having like an actual reaction to it, which means you could feel like sweaty, you could feel hungry, you could feel faint, you could feel like you have to throw up, you could feel all these nervous system feelings. So the best thing to actually do before you even reflect on this and go into like why is to let your body regulate. So grounding exercises, maybe it's like walking like to your car and that helps, or like sitting outside for a second looking at the moon. Maybe it's just like letting quiet sink in and like putting your hands like on your legs and tapping. Maybe it's 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and then 1 thing that you can taste to calm your mind. Grounding techniques have such a powerful way of letting yourself realize what is true about what you just experienced. If you're heightened and you're like gripping through your body, your experience is going to stay in that experience. And when you relax, and when you're able to breathe through, you're going to realize that those emotions, they were coming from some place, and potentially that place was not only the place of dance. It was probably inclusive of something that happened earlier that day or something that happened the day before or last week. But dance is one of those things where it's such a vulnerable experience. It makes so much sense that so much comes up. So have some water, like let yourself just be, and then we'll go into the thought process of it. The processing can be like very simple after that moment. It can be like, okay, like I was just over exaggerating. It was a tough day. I didn't get enough sleep. I wasn't well fed. And it could be just that. One of the most important things that you can do is still seek out a win and understand that like you're doing it even when it's hard. So what was your win? And you can categorize these if you want. You want to have like a physical win. You want to have like an outfit win, a accountability win. You can think about yourself and your values and how those wins can be categorized. So for example, that night that I was experiencing my feelings, my win was I continued. So it was that modification, like, okay, I was able to get around it. 2, it was making the most of a situation. So it was like, I'm in LA. I'm going to dance. That's it. I'm going to figure out the way around it. Again, kind of in that modification value, soaking up presence a little bit as well. And the next was like the value of growth and not being hard on myself, but mostly like meeting myself for where I was that day. And I love that value because we're always changing. Progress is not linear. So like there have been times where I've pushed when I've been down and times where I've pushed when I've been up, but I can always go back to the idea that I know how to push myself in both of those scenarios. It's kind of like when you go to the gym and you're lifting weight, like you might just have one day where you're like, that's weird. Last week I lifted like 25 pounds heavier than that. And it's like, today that just feels so hard. Sometimes things just feel harder and you get to just be like, oh, okay, well, it feels harder. Today's not the day. Let me push harder another day when it comes back around because everything's full circle. So you always want to find your win. And when you do, you'll find that there's always one more to add after you find your one win. And you're like, oh, well, this is a win too. And the next step is probably the most important. It's to already decide that you're coming back. This is one of the most important steps because your progress on the dance floor and your progress with anything isn't because you had one great class. It's because you had one not so great class and you've chosen to go back after that. There's this meme, it's one of my favorite memes. When I was struggling with my knee disorder and diagnosing it and finding the right doctor and getting surgery, there's this wolf meme that I love and I still reference, and it's a mama wolf and it's a baby wolf, and little baby wolf has like one little arrow in her body and she's like, and there's like blood like on the floor of the little wolf. And then on the big mama wolf, there's like 10 arrows in her body and she's like, And she's so unaffected by it. And it's because she has built the resilience. And it's like what you are currently able to handle right now is so much more than what you were previously able to handle. And you can think about this in real life as well. Like, I know that there were moments like when I was younger where I'd call my parents, like dramatically call them and be like, oh my God, this happened. Can you believe it? And like something like that could happen now. And I'd just be like, because it doesn't affect me as much. So coming back and continuing to play, to come back and continue to dance is how you build your progress. It's very inclusive actually, because you're including those bad, again, we don't really love to say the word bad days, but we're including the days that don't feel as good with the days that feel amazing. And it's that big scope that teaches us contrast and teaches us that, okay, if I can feel this so good, then I can feel this so not good. And when I feel that so not good, I know that there's another moment where I'm going to feel something so good. And how do I get there? So just remember that you're allowed to be in the progress mode, especially when you're a newbie, and even more so when you're continuing your dance journey, especially as an adult, especially someone who is taking care of their body. Just let the process happen. And when you find yourself beating yourself up or breaking down in a class, remember that you have a strategy now. You have steps that you can do to keep yourself in the class without feeling the need to hyperventilate or leave. Even like saying negative things about you. I will promise you that you will start to say less negative things to yourself inside of a dance class. And because you do that, you'll be saying way less things negative about yourself in the external world. And because of that, naturally, you'll start saying more positive things in your brain. And then that positivity will lead you to bigger and better things and actually might allow you to kind of dismiss certain people in your life because they're no longer going to be serving you and you're only going to be bringing the greatness into your life. So it all starts with you. And I do hope that you are challenged. And I do hope that you use these skills so that you can come out from under it. And if this was helpful for you at all, it would mean the absolute world to me if you shared this with a friend because someone just like you is struggling with dance and they need to hear this message. So thank you so much. And I'll see you on the dance floor.